Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I'm on a bit of a mission today. I want something from this drawer. And now I know from some of you, was it last year? I can't remember quite when, but some of you have a drawer similar, which you call the drawer of doom. I'm not going to call mine quite the drawer of doom because it is all stuff that's used, it's all stuff that's used, scraps of paper, pads and stuff. That's my resistance band. That comes out every evening with my little list of exercises to do. Batteries, the fan, my lovely charity shop fan. Oh my goodness, I've needed that the last couple of summers. Hole punch, calculator, Swiss Army knife. Everyone should have a Swiss Army knife. Oh, under here, this is so cute. It's my little pocket compass. Oh, where's north? Oh, I'm holding it up so it won't work. But yeah, it's all stuff that's pens, pencils, rulers. It's all stuff that I need to empty my didcots. It's all stuff that's in fairly regular, it's just stationary bits and it's all in fairly regular use, apart from this thing that I've just put in my pocket, in my pouch, to take to the sofa. So, is that clutter? That's the question, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Oh, yeah, stapler. That's actually a SATS monitor from after I had that horrible lung infection 2 years ago. Right, enough of that. Let's go and perch on the sofa and get on with today's jobs. Well, that was a bit of a different view of my flat, wasn't it? My drawer of doom, except it's not my drawer of doom, and the some of the books on the lower part of the bookcase, that's what I was retrieving. So today we're all about clutter busting, I suppose, having a bit of a sort out. And yeah, I get asked often, oh Vivi, can you do a decluttering video? Can we do a clean out video? So I did a kind of series of them. I think there were 3 or 4 videos about 2 years ago. But honestly, and I don't mean this in a, I'm perfect, because I'm not, way, but I don't need to do a clutter clear out because I don't have clutter. I just don't have clutter. I live in quite a small home. What am I here? About 500 square feet. So when you live in quite a small space, you have to be really judicious about what comes in, what goes out, etc., etc. So no, I don't really have clutter, but I have got a few bits here that I want to go through today and thin out. Not in terms of like a clutter bust, but more in terms of the moving. We'll come to these in a second. And there's a couple of difficult decisions to make, and I'm going to ask you to help me. But I was thinking about it because I knew I was going to be doing this in the next couple of weeks or so. And I was thinking, sorry, give me a click. You know, what is clutter? And the way I see it, I think there's probably 2 kinds of clutter. One type it's basically stuff that just needs to be put away. And the other type of clutter which needs to be given away. Or in some cases even thrown away, but into recycling, not landfill. When you can't see any of the surfaces in your home, you know it's time. You know it's time to either declutter or put away. So, you know, in your kitchen, if there's never an inch of surface space in the kitchen to prepare your food because the surface is covered in pots, pans, crockery, glasses, cutlery, gadgets, air fryers, Nutribullets, blenders, food processors, Tupperware, pots and pots of Tupperware, tons of lids, half of them don't even match. There's just stuff everywhere. Piles of papers. Hopefully, if there's piles of papers, you will have tackled that at the beginning of this year anyway to do your budgeting. So hopefully piles of papers, bills, all that kind of stuff, that's already been dealt with. It's all been rationalised down and put into a folder, easy access. But even things like, you know, a bedroom. I've got a friend who did this. Moved into her flat about 7 years or so ago. A fairly good sized bedroom. And at the end of the bed, she's got a beautiful sort of ottoman blanket box. And in the window, she's got a lovely armchair, a really gorgeous, quite a big, squishy armchair. And she said when she moved in, she said, I'm picturing it. She hadn't got the armchair at that stage. She went out and bought one. But she said, I'm going to have an armchair there. She said, I can picture it every morning. I can sit there and have my coffee. If it's the weekend, read the paper. But of an evening, I'll sit there and I'll read my book. I don't think she knows what colour that chair is. That chair has not been seen since the day it was put in the bedroom because it's always got a massive mound of clothes on. The blanket box at the end of the bed, massive mound of clothes on. There's piles of clothes everywhere. You know those plastic, but they've got holes in, like laundry, what do you call it, basket, laundry hamper, whatever. Clean clothes waiting to be put away or waiting to be ironed. Those kind of things scattered all through the bedroom. They've been left so long that the cat has decided that's the bed. So the cat has adopted the laundry basket full of clothes as a bed. So yeah, you've decided there's no space, there's no surface anywhere, then that's probably a sign that you really need to either declutter or put away. Now the fact is with clothes, get them hung up and put in the wardrobe, get them folded and put in a chest of drawers. And if you haven't folded them and put them in the drawers, and if you haven't hung them in the wardrobe because there's no space in the wardrobe, if the wardrobe is bursting and the top of the wardrobe is piled high and there's stuff spilling out the bottom of the wardrobe and the doors haven't been closed on the wardrobe for the last 2 years, it's definitely time for a clear out. Because frankly, none of us need more than one wardrobe and one chest of drawers. You might have a second chest of drawers for things like your household linens, but in terms of clothes, and you might, under the bed, you might have trunks or, you know, they're like sort of like plastic, they're almost like plastic suitcases that you put your stuff in and then you put the vacuum cleaner in, suck all the air out and it shrinks them down. You might have that under the bed for seasonal clothes, like, you know, if you've got big, thick down jackets and all that winter stuff that you put in there, put it under. I get it, you'd need more than one wardrobe. But generally, we don't need more than one wardrobe. So if you've got clothes piled everywhere, and there's no space in the wardrobe, and your drawers are hanging open because they're so stuffed full you can't close them. Pardon me. It is definitely time for a clear out. You know, I think I'm going to come on to something today which is one of those tough things to clear out. If you've been sort of putting off, look, the bottom line is it doesn't matter how many Marie Kondo books you read, it doesn't matter how many YouTube videos you watch about decluttering, including me today or me in the past, it doesn't matter how many of those things you dip into. The bottom line is, unless you tackle it, the problem isn't going anywhere. Read all those books, but unless you actually get stuck in, nothing is going to change, and in fact it's probably going to get worse. So perhaps make a promise to yourself, maybe even just one drawer today. But I think clothes is Clothes are probably a good place to start because, so sorry, excuse me. There's something very immediate about clothes, and I think we have an immediate response. Like, I love this item of clothing, or oh, I hate this item of clothing. I bought it, but it always makes me look lumpy, or I don't like the colour against my skin, whatever it is. So perhaps today, start with your clothes. Maybe do one drawer, but I think actually the best way with clothes is to get everything out of cupboards, out of drawers, out from under the bed, out from the laundry room if you've got a separate laundry room. If you've got piles of clothes at the top of the stairs because they haven't even made it into the bedroom yet, just get all the clothes together. You may be part of a family, that gets a bit trickier, but for today just concentrate on your own stuff because you can make decisions about your own stuff. Get it all together and then sort them into piles. So for instance, you've got a pile of dresses, a pile of skirts, a pile of trousers, a pile of short sleeve t-shirts, a pile of long sleeve t-shirts, a pile of jumpers, a pile of cardigans, a pile of socks, a pile of knickers, a pile of bras. You get what I'm saying. Sort them all out into their individual types of item. And then go through each pile. So if it's your short sleeve t-shirts, for instance, I mean, if you've got more than 20 short sleeve t-shirts, you've probably got too many. And ask yourself questions when you're doing it, like, does this fit? Is it too baggy? Does it gape? Has it never fitted properly? Is it too tight on me now? Is it still to my taste? You know, because our tastes change, don't they? Is it something that's been needing a repair for 10 years? You've not got round to it. So as you're going through, you're thinking, oh, yeah. And I'm willing to bet as well for some people, some really, really, really naughty hoarder type people, there'll be clothes that have still got the tags on that have never been worn. Be ruthless, ask yourself the tough questions. And you know what, if something doesn't fit anymore, that whole thing of, oh, well, I might fit back into it, I'm going on a diet this year. If it's more than a couple of dress sizes, I say dress, we all clothes, if it's more than 2 dress sizes smaller than you are today, the chances are you're probably never going to get back down to that weight. And even if you do, it's going to take how long? 2-3 years. By then, you know what, treat yourself to a couple of new items as a well done for losing all that weight. But yeah, anything more than a couple of dress sizes down, I'd say part with it, get rid of it. And if you still have an issue, if you're still like sort of struggling, thinking, oh, but I don't know, but I love it, you know, you can think about selling stuff online. Although, you know, there's a bit of work involved in that, and the reward isn't huge financially. The way I think of it is, if I give this stuff away, I'm willing to bet there's someone out there in the world who needs it far more than I do. And frankly, if I've got 50 t-shirts, I do not need 50 t-shirts, but someone out there may need 1 t-shirt. So yeah, if you're struggling with parting with things, maybe think about someone else that might help you. Think about that person with absolutely nothing. And you could make specific donations with your things. If you've got donation hubs in your areas which are donating to either for homeless folk, or if there's a refuge near you, whatever type of refuge it is. We've got a great donation hub here which is for anyone on benefits, so you have to show that you're in receipt of benefits to even go into the building. And they do all sorts, baby stuff, adult stuff, clothes, toys, household, you know, crockery, kitchen stuff, all of that. Prams, pushchairs, cots, everything you could possibly need if you've got a little family, or even if you're on your own, but it's specifically for folk who are in receipt of benefits, who are really, 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 once they've, I mean, we all know the fuel bills at the moment, but once you've paid your, once you've topped your gas meter up and you've bought whatever food you can manage, there's nothing left to be able to buy a winter coat for either yourself or your kid. Yeah, so if you're struggling to let things go, and it's practical stuff like clothing, kitchen stuff, just think all the time, someone out there would be so over the moon to have this item. And just a word as well, in terms of donating, when you do donate, please make sure what you're donating is clean. Don't donate clothes that need a wash. If they're in your washing pile, give them a wash. I mean, for goodness sakes, even though someone's going to be over the moon to receive an item that you no longer need, let's not degrade people further by giving them dirty items, for goodness sake. So yeah, make sure everything's clean and in good repair. So if something's ripped beyond repair, put it in the rag bank. If it's a tiny thing that could be repaired, do the repair yourself as an act of love to a complete stranger. Yay! So yeah, if you know you fall into this category, as in it's long overdue, just start getting stuck in. And like my drawer of doom, which it's not, but I loved that phrase when someone else mentioned it a couple of years ago. Even if it's your drawer of doom, just promise yourself that maybe you won't have the time to do this every day. I was going to say half an hour every evening. Maybe you wouldn't have that amount of time free. But an hour every weekend, tackle a drawer. Or in the case, say, of something like the bureau, I could probably do the whole, I mean, I don't need to, but if I did need to, I could do my whole bureau easily in 1 hour. Get all those clothes out, get them all piled on the bed, sort them into different piles, and decide once and for all, I have way more than I need. Someone else doesn't have anything. So, I think clothes are easy. I think kitchen stuff is quite easy as well, with those Tupperware. Spend 1 hour, for instance, you could do this straight after this video. Go into the kitchen, get all the Tupperware out, all the lids, and see if you can match every pot to every lid. And if you've got pots without lids and lids without pots, you know what? Either repurpose, if it's a pot without a lid, repurpose it as something for the garden, like a drip tray for a plant, or get it in the recycling. Stop holding on to things that don't work anymore. Yeah, and again, pots, pans, crockery, glasses. How many mugs do you need? I think, what have I got? I've got 6 mugs in total. They're all lovely. I'm going to go a bit Marie Kondo now. They all bring me joy. And 6 mugs is enough for if I've got friends over. I wouldn't have more than, including me, I'm one, I wouldn't have more than 5 people here at a time because there's not enough space. 6 mugs is plenty. So if you have 57 mugs and there are only 2 of you living there, you don't need 57 mugs. We get it, Vivi, move on. Okay, I'm moving on. So, I've got a couple of, I have these, they're just bog standard IKEA storage boxes. They're cardboard. One day when they've given up the ghost, they haven't given up, I've had them years, I've had them 20 odd years, but one day when they give up the ghost, they can go in the recycling or in the compost bin. Yeah, I think this is my last 2 boxes of stuff to have a bit of a go through. Let me get organised, lift this up, and then you can see what I'm seeing. Oopla. Oh, Topsy-turvy is in the top. She's not going anywhere. My little doll Topsy. She's called Topsy-turvy because on the other side of her head, on this side, there's a sleeping face, and that goes with her little sleeping nightgown. I love my little Topsy. The rest of this box, however, oh, I feel like I'm miles away from you. Let's shuffle down the sofa. The rest of this box, these are these clear folders, clear, oh, that's me getting the award. I'll come up. They're like, it's almost like having a scrapbook, but they're clear pockets. Oh, genetics competencies. This is all stuff to do with my ex-life as a nurse. Oh, the Florence Nightingale Foundation, I was invited to that too. Now, the fact is, obviously my nursing days are over. Do I really need to keep any of this stuff? I'm not actually sure what some of it is because I just haven't been in here for so long. I've got a feeling this might be essays in here. Oh, that's my degree certificate. What is in here? Oh, essays. Academic skills for professional practice. Psychosocial aspects of health, values in health, appraisal of evidence for health, principles of children's nursing, contemporary children's nursing practice, teaching and learning. I'm never gonna, oh, I knew this, so this is why I wanted to do this today, because I'm sure this, I'm sure we'll all relate to this on some level, not necessarily the nursing stuff, but this is all, this caught me off guard a bit actually. I feel a bit emotional suddenly. This is all stuff I'm never going to use again. And, well, frankly, until, I mean, I haven't looked at this stuff since about, well, 2012 I graduated. There's a little bit of stuff in here that goes on beyond that because I was doing my master's. I mean, there's so much, oh my God, there's so much work. I think it represents hours and hours and hours. It just represents hours and hours and hours of work. I can't go, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I want to show you, I don't know if you'll even recognise me. Will the light, won't be an issue. You see, there's me in the middle. That's at the Nursing Times Awards. Gosh, sorry, I've just gone down a rabbit hole. Right, focus. What's the issue with this stuff? Right, well, it takes up a bit of space. It's not too much space, but I can tell you that it's heavy. When I move house, do I want to move this with me? Now, like I said, it doesn't take up too much space. But why? Why would I take it with me? It represents an old life. I should just say as well, in terms of all my all my textbooks, I donated a whole bunch of them to the ward that I used to work on when I left. The kind of things that won't go out of date, because the thing with medicine is some things never go out of date, some things do go out of date. So the stuff that wouldn't go out of date, I left for the use of colleagues and student nurses on the ward. There were a handful of like really expensive pharmacology books, because I on top of my nursing, I was studying pharmacology and cellular biology. So those books are incredibly expensive, very technical, and they're not the sort of books that someone's going to pick up when they've got 2 minutes spare on the ward. So those I sold. You know, these are books which cost £60-70 a pop. So yeah, I sold those. But I have kept my Marieb Essentials of Anatomy and Physiology. I consider, so I also had the Tortora Anatomy and Physiology, which is a bit more advanced, and it's a great chunky book, CD-ROMs, all of that stuff. I sold that because that was worth quite a lot of money too. But I've kept my Marieb because I actually had this Marieb before I started studying nursing, because I've always been interested in anatomy and physiology in the same way that I'm interested in all sorts of things in natural history. So I decided that's the only nursing book I kept, because for me that's a home reference book. Every home should have a book on anatomy and physiology. So I don't have any issues with keeping that. Every now and again I pick it up and I refer to it, look at something. That's not an issue. But what do I do with all this stuff? So, actually, hang on, just give me a tick. Wow, I've really thrown myself for a loop with this. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult. I should have looked at it all before I turned the camera on. Anyway, I'm never going to refer to this stuff again. I don't think. It would just be, the only reason I'd be looking through it would be a bit of nostalgia. The essays, well, I think I've got most of my essays on the computer anyway, but also my dissertation, my final thesis at uni, which is your 10,000 word thesis that everyone completes. I'm going to brag. I got a first, and I got a really high scoring first. So my dissertation was actually, there's a print copy held at my university's library and the digital copy, so that students had come afterwards, their tutor can say, oh, if you want to see an example of a first class, dissertation, check out Vivi Gregory's dissertation, go and have a read. So if I ever wanted to read my own dissertation again, just go to the university library, it's there. So if I'm not going to look at this, and the rest of this, a lot of it it's very personal to me. It's sort of my reflections, my achievements, whatever it is, it's very personal. So all of this stuff, there'd be no point in giving it to my university, because I don't think they'd want it, because it is so personal to me, and everybody has a different experience. Everyone has a different personality to start with. So would it be any use? So there's the dilemma. I don't have kids, so I've got no one to pass any of this stuff down to. If I keep it, what will happen to it? It's going to go back in that box, back on the shelf, never to be looked at again. I'll move house. And in my new home, I'll have some shelves or cupboards, and the box will go on the shelf or into the cupboard, never to be looked at again. And then one day I'll die, and either my nephew, or if he has any kids, maybe one of his kids, they come into the wherever I'm living, clear it out, it'll all go into landfill, they'll sell the property, thank you very much. There's no sentimental value in it either for family members, so what do I do with it? There's my dilemma. But the dilemma gets a bit bigger. I've got 2 items here. Let's get... Oh, they're heavy. I'm not even going to get time to go into this one. This is personal stuff. And it's... Oh, I know... That big box, that second box that I've just moved out of the way is... Topsy is staying though. Her full name is Topsy Turvy. That second box I've just moved, that's got all my original house deeds and everything to do with this building. So part of wanting to get that out today, I know it's in there. I even lifted the lid the other day just to check. I just want to go through to make sure I'm not keeping any extraneous stuff, but also I want to know that I can put my hand to that wodge of documents that relate to the property. It's got the old lease, still haven't got the new lease back. I know. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'm going to have to take some advice, I think. But yeah, that can wait. The main thing is I know where house documents are. I mean, I kind of did anyway. Just because this year, I know what's going to happen. Things are going to gather apace, and before I know it, I'm going to be in a situation where solicitors are asking for documents, and well, I hope I'm into that position. Yeah, back to this sentimental stuff. In a way, what we're talking about today, yeah, clutter busting. And that's why I was talking about tapping the clothes, because it's easy to get rid of clothes and excess mugs and what have you. But then we get to the sentimental stuff, don't we? And that's what's really hard. And I think that's what people struggle with. And I don't know that I've got any answers for you today. In fact, I'm asking for help. Generally, in the scheme of things, those sentimental things, they get passed down to another member of the family. So in a way, I'm also talking about Swedish death cleaning today. Please don't anybody be squeamish about that. At some point, I will die. And if my house is full of absolutely goodness, if my house is packed to the rafters, some poor beggar, some distant family member, some poor soul is going to have to deal with my accumulated mess. And I don't want to put that on anyone. So keep it all simple now. But yeah, normally those sentimental things, maybe it's a piece of jewellery, granddad's medals from the war, more of medals in a minute. The natural order of things is that they get passed down to the child or the grandchild. So what if you don't have children and therefore you don't have grandchildren? And I know there are quite a few of you in that position as well. And you might think, well, what about your nephew? My nephew is not really very sentimental, and we just don't have that kind of same sort of closeness as, well, certainly not as I had with my sister. So once upon a time, all of this was going to be left to my sister. And in fact, a couple of years ago, I was doing a bit of a clear out, and it's some sentimental stuff. And I sent it over to her then. You know, I had my grandma's engagement ring. And I said, I don't have a child to pass this on to, so I'm going to give it to you, and then you can pass it on to my nephew. And my brother-in-law, after my sister died, said, oh, I've got your grandma's engagement ring, do you want it? And I was like, no, I gave it to you. I don't want it back. There's no point. Because when I'm dead and gone, you know, it'll just get... Anyway, you get the idea. So I've got 2 items here, which, yeah, I don't know what to do with. And I am going to brag now. I'm going to have a little braggy moment. I still feel like you're miles away. It's because I'm kind of... I'm being passionate on the sofa. Yeah, I was a total nerd at uni. Look, I approach everything in the same way in life. I always try to do my best at whatever I do, and I give it 100%. And I loved that time of, you know, a nursing degree is a weird one because half the time you're in clinical practice, and I loved it, of course I did, but half the time you're at university and it's utterly academic. But I love that too, you know, I love learning. So I loved both sides of it, really applied myself. And in my final year, so that Florence Nightingale Foundation I was just relating then, it was her 150th anniversary, and there was a big celebration at Westminster Abbey, a service celebration, and it was for anyone associated with nursing. Was it Desmond Tutu, I think, did a speech, but one student from every university, every one nursing student from every university around the country was chosen to go to the service to represent their uni. I was only a first year student then, but I was already quite nerdy. They picked me. So I went to represent my university. It was amazing. And all the different services, Army, RAF, nurses from all the services, nurses from hospitals everywhere, and they all arrived in their dress uniforms, which were beautiful. So there's me, I turned up in my student uniform. It was amazing. So I had all sorts of opportunities, and they were given to me because I was achieving, but also, yeah, I was achieving. And then in the final year, we have a sort of magazine, newspaper type thing that comes out every week called the Nursing Times. And they have awards each year, and the awards are for individual nurses in different fields of nursing. Sometimes it's an award for a team, all sorts, myriad awards. And that year, they also decided to award student nurses. So student nurse from child branch, student nurse from adult branch, from mental health, from learning disability, and from student midwifery. So 5 students from all over the country would also get an award that year. My university put me up for it. So you had to be nominated for it. You had to be nominated by both your university and your clinical practice setting. And then from that stage, once you were nominated, there was so much work. There was so much extra work. It was the equivalent of doing about 4 extra essays. So I got through that stage, I had to write papers. Then from that, I was then shortlisted and went through to the interview stage, and this interview went on for hours, and there were chief of nursing staff there were people from the Nursing Times, the actual paper, all manner of people. And from that, I got through and was shortlisted for the final. Yay! There was a big fancy do up in London. I didn't take anyone with me. I just, it's like, I've only got a couple of hours. I need to get back to my studies because it was my final year, I had exams coming up and papers to write. So it's like, come on, get on with it. But there was free champagne. I got a bit trolleyed, actually. Anyway, so it came, all these awards are going on, and I'm thinking, oh, come on, hurry up, I want to go home and study. And then it came up to the paediatric student nurse, and I won. They called my name out, so I won. There we go. Or if anyone's doubt, because I know that some of the trolls like to say that I'm lying about things. You see, there's my name on the plinth. So I won the Nursing Times Awards Paediatric Student of the Year 2012. What do I do with this? I've never ever had it out on display. I've never talked about it before. I'm proud, I'm so proud. I worked so hard for this. Now, initially, I'm really proud that I was even nominated in the first place, but from nomination, it was a lot of work to prove my worth. So I'm really proud of it, but I've never ever had it on display. It's always been in that top cupboard, tucked away. Don't know what to do with it. It's a lump of plastic. I don't want to put it in landfill. I was thinking of, I'm going to get in touch with one of my friends that I trained with, my bestie actually. I haven't seen her for ages, so it'll be a good excuse for a catch up. I'm going to see her and ask her what she thinks I should do with it, because I think maybe it could go, in the foyer of the sort of main building for the nursing department, because my university did sort of nursing, engineering, physics, paramedic science, physics, all sorts of the allied healthcare stuff, but also, physics, maths, engineering, chemistry, computing, I don't understand. But in the nursing bit, there's a foyer with a couple of glass cabinets with bits and bobs in, so maybe it could go in there, and then maybe that would inspire some current. That sounds really, really inflated. I don't mean it like that, I honestly don't, but that might inspire some current student to think, you know what, I want a lump of plastic with my name on it too. Don't know what to do with it. Oh, what do we do? And then this is what I was after from my bureau. There's a medal in here. I don't know how much we'll pick up on camera. Can you, oh, I don't know if you, can you even read it? It says, the University Merit Award for Outstanding Achievement. Fancy pants on the back, there's the university arms. I don't know if this will pick up, because some people will not believe me, that this medal was awarded to me, Vivi Gregory, and I was in the School of Health and Social Care. Now, this medal is really special. It's super special because at my university, across all the disciplines, like I said, there's physics, maths, computing sciences, engineering, all sorts. There's about 22,000 students in each year intake, about 22,000 students. And this medal is a final year thing, and there's only one medal. I'm gonna go upset. It's one medal for the entire university. So I beat 22,000 other people to that medal. The best thing was it came with a cheque for 500 quid. Get in there! It was brilliant because we graduated. It was actually my birthday. We graduated in the early July. Oh, and the thing to say about this, at the awards, I got absolutely bladdered, to be honest. I was on a table with all the other paediatric nominees. None of them were drinking. They were all a bit goody-goody. I was drinking everyone's champagne, got a bit bladdered, picked up the award, said, thanks very much, ta-ra. I was about to leave. I think the student awards were right at the end of this proper fancy do-up in town, big posh hotel. And just as I was trying to leave, I was jumped on by some of the people who'd interviewed me, the chief of nursing staff. They were like, oh, Vivi, don't go. Oh, by the way, have you decided where you want to work? Because this was in about the June. I was going to be graduating in July and I hadn't even started to look for a job yet. But so I got headhunted at this, and so on my birthday, when we had our graduation ceremony, the part of Greenwich University that's right on the river, it's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Some of you will have seen it if you've gone for a walk in Greenwich Park. On that day, I also got a call that from Great Ormond Street to say, yeah, you're in. So I get the 500 quid and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant, because my Great Ormond Street job didn't start until the beginning of October. So I had July, August and September to get through. Am I going to get a job for 3 months? Okay, I'm going to look for a part-time job or some kind of job to fill those 3 months because I'm utterly broke from 3 years of training. And anyway, so the 500 quid came in really useful. But the medal itself, what do I do with it? It is really special. Like I said, there's only one of these each year. I feel gobsmacked to have got it and honoured to have got it. But what do I do with it? I don't want that. The 500 quid was great, but who wants it? You know, who's going to want this? It doesn't mean anything to anyone else apart from me or possibly my kids if I had them. But I don't, so it's just a worthless piece of metal to anyone else. So there's your dilemma, and that's the dilemma of it all, isn't it? Oh my goodness, this went on much. This went in a direction I wasn't quite expecting. Yeah, but there we go. That's what happens, isn't it, when we start, whether it's decluttering or trying to kind of go through things and thin things down a bit. This is proof that it isn't always easy and straightforward. I know there's a lot of I'm getting cold. There's a lot of decluttering stuff. You see it online and in books, like I was saying. And yes, I think doing things like clothes, crockery, etc., is pretty easy and straightforward, and maybe that's why, start there. But then when it comes to things like what I've just shown with my nursing stuff, it's intensely personal. It's not straightforward. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I think, like I said, I'll get in touch with my friend Julie, because she works at one of the hospitals. She's done really well. She works at one of the hospitals that my university uses for clinical practice. So she's still in contact with all the teaching staff at the uni. So I'll see what she thinks on that one. The medal, I don't know. But yeah, so there we go. I've just proven how difficult it is to clutter bust. I was supposed to be coming on today to say how easy it is and let's just get on with it and let's do it, but didn't turn out like that, did it? Oh well. I think start with the easy stuff. Start with the Tupperware. Start with the Tupperware and work your way up to the medals. But I think, look, the main message today, and why I kind of even started this little thing today, is start. Just start. Stop reading all the books about it. Stop watching all the videos about it, apart from, please finish watching this one. Make that commitment. Put it on your calendar. Put it in your day book. Whatever it is, however you organise your time, mark it somewhere and say, this today actually is my priority. I'm going to prioritise this over anything else, because honestly, if you can no longer see surfaces in your house and it's bothering you, and that's the point, if it's bothering you, if you're saying swear words every time you go and look for an item of clothing because towers of clothing fall over, if you're wasting that kind of emotional energy getting frustrated and angry at the situation, now's the time to start getting on with it. Make one small start. Make it today. After this video, right now, turn the camera off. Not turn the camera off, I'm the camera. When you finish watching this video, go to one drawer somewhere in your house and make sense of it. All right, lovelies. I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon cogitating. I will see you all again really soon, I hope. I'm not sure what the next one will be. It might be a book video. Who knows? It will be something, and it will be soon. So until then, my tummy's rumbling, which tells me it's time to go and heat up some soup. Until the next one, happy sorting and donating. Happy memories as you do it. Yeah. But just do it. Cheerio, lovelies.